Welcome to the Six Hockey.
Gary scores!
Hello everybody and welcome back to The Six Hockey. My name is Simon Hendricks, joined alongside Sammy Brzezowski, and today we have a great game between the Mississauga Senators and the Toronto Young Nationals. Sammy, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling very excited, just a little bit nervous as well for the game, as I am sure the players of the Sens and the Nationals are feeling as well. It's a big season in their young careers.
I've been meaning to ask you this for a while, but how are you feeling about that mustache on your lip?
Not nearly as excited as I am for this game. And the worst part is there are players in this U16 division, that means they're 15 years old or younger, that can grow better facial hair than I can, and I am 22.
A couple of sport media students from Toronto Metropolitan University coming at you with this game. And with that, let's take a look at a couple key players in this game that you should keep an eye on. Let's start with the Toronto Young Nationals.
That's right. For the Toronto Young Nationals, I have forward Ethan Saw. Now, I've compared him to the likeness of Jared McCann. That means he has a nose for goals, he puts himself in the right spots, and he makes simple plays. Now, that's something that gets undervalued a lot. He may not be the flashiest, but he does have high IQ, and he does have high offensive efficiency.
Moving forward to the Mississauga Senators, you actually picked a defenseman for this one.
I did pick a defenseman. I picked a big, full-bodied defenseman who makes the smart first pass. Of course, that is Liam Fortune. Not only is he a solid, reliable, kind of stay-at-home guy, he will jump into the offense, but more importantly, he'll jump into the physicality as well. Expect him not to be afraid to lay the body this season.
And moving on, let's take a look at the starting goalies for this game. For the Senators, it will be none other than Massimo Tomasi. And for the Young Nationals, it will be none other than Cooper Deschamps. Two pretty big bodies in net.
That's right. And Cooper Deschamps, he does have a battle coming up ahead of him. The Mississauga Senators, they do have a lot of offensive creativity as well as offensive talent, a lot of it coming from Arjun Nanubhai, their number one ranked forward on the team. So expect to see that, and expect Cooper Deschamps to need to settle into this game early and get comfortable, or it could get busy quick.
Speaking of getting comfortable in the game, how much do you think this first game jitters are going to come into play? Because worth noting, this is a very important year for these young players. The U16 year is the most important year when it comes to their OHL priority selection stock. A lot of eyeballs on these players for sure. So Sammy, what do you think the mindset is coming into this game?
I think right now it's all about the coaches just telling them to calm down. I know it's a very important year. I know that each game means more than the last, but you just got to stick to the game plan, play your game, work hard, shift in and shift out, and you will do just fine.
And with that, let's take it to the ice. Nationals and Senators. Hello everybody and welcome to Scotiabank Pond for some GTHL action for the first game of the year between the Toronto Young Nationals and the Mississauga Senators. My name is Simon Hendricks, joined alongside me always, Sammy Brzezowski. Sammy, how are you feeling about this game?
I'm very excited, Simon. You know, this is the best minor hockey that Toronto has to offer. U16, GTHL, AAA. It's their draft year where they can get drafted in the OHL, further their hockey careers. You know, a lot of eyes are going to be on these kids, and they just want to start the season off with a bang.
Yeah, speaking of all those eyeballs, maybe some scouts in attendance today or watching online here, what do you think the mindset is for these players entering this game today?
I think a lot of them are going to be nervous. A lot of them are going to be excited. Expect a quick start here. You know, they're going to go balls to the wall, get ready to go, because they know this is the most important year of their short and young careers so far.
Balls to the walls might be the motto for the game today as we are set for puck drop, and that is cleared in by the Mississauga Senators into the left-hand corner there. And that is a big hit from Timmins, and that is a costly turnover from Omasta. Shot scores, that's barred down, and the Senators are on the board early from the shot from Arjun Nanubhai. What a shot, what a release, and it's 1-0 Senators just 10 seconds into this game.
And it was Omasta there with the big turnover right at the top of the circle. You saw he got two hands on the stick when he was carrying it out, shifted to one, and he was forced to kick it forward. And a great job by Nanubhai to jump on that turnover and fire it home.
You know, he's one of their top scorers, Nanubhai. You saw that with that release. Bar down, nothing that the goalie could do on that one.
Yeah, I really like the confidence he employed in that shot. Didn't hesitate. He picked his spot, fired right away, and that's a way to start a season.
And that's Patekko with the shot and a rebound, but that is saved and it's kicked out up to the blue line, and there is a whistle, maybe knocked off the net there.
Yeah, and a good response here from the Young Nationals to immediately get an offensive zone face-off. You know, you let up that early goal. It can be pretty deflating, especially you want a great season start in the first 10 seconds you get scored on. So good response to get into the zone and hopefully get some offense going.
Offensive zone face-off here for the Nationals, and that is one back as the Senators try to clear that, and that is some nifty camera work, but the Senators do end up getting it deep into the offensive zone. Sammy, if you're Cooper Deschamps, goaltender for the Young Nationals, what's going through your head right now after letting in just a wicked shot in the first 10 seconds?
I mean, you're upset, obviously. You don't want to let in a goal that early into a game, that early into a season, but you can't really blame him on the opportunity. It was a costly turnover. You want to have that save, but it was a great shot off the stick of Nanubhai, and right now you just got to focus on playing your own game, staying positionally sound, and not letting the outside noise get to you.
And that neutral zone faceoff won a bit too cleanly, but the Mississauga Senators, they try to dump it in, and that will be covered up by Deschamps for an offensive zone faceoff. Going back to that early goal, not only for Deschamps, but what do you think the mindset is of the Toronto Young Nationals team after going down so early?
You know, I think it's kind of it's an awakening, you know, that the competition is very high in this division. Everyone's taking their skills to another level this year. And I think it's not a great thing, but now they're in it. The first mistake has happened, and they're not waiting for the ball to drop. Now they can just play their own game, like I said, just like what Deschamps has to do. They have to run their game plan. You know, they didn't get the start they wanted, and now they have to adjust.
And that clear attempt was sent out of play, and we will do this offensive zone face-off one more time as the Senators look to add on to their lead, and that is one back, passed across the blue line, and that is saved by Deschamps, kicked into the corner as the Nationals try to break the puck out. And a big hit delivered by Liam Fortune onto Alexander Hahn as the Senators creeping towards the net, and the net is lodged off the ice, and that will be an offensive zone faceoff as there are some extracurriculars after the net. Perhaps the Senators getting a bit too close to Deschamps for the Young Nationals' liking.
Yeah, also probably a response onto the hit from Fortune there onto Alexander Hahn. You assume that had some repercussions, but that net came off like it wasn't even centered in the ice there, so hopefully they can readjust those pegs and get the game back going.
You know, we talked about this a little bit in our last broadcast between the Red Wings and Marlboros. It's the first game of the year, not only for these players, but for the officials. Do you think there's any, maybe some missed calls going to happen in this game?
Perhaps. I mean, just like us, it's our first game as well. Your first game on play-by-play. Let's congratulate Simon, by the way. And I think there is some nerves for these referees. This is a big time for them. This is probably the highest level of minor hockey you can ref in the GTA. And you know what this means to the players, to the coaches, to the fans, and to the parents, so you don't want to mess up.
That's exactly right, Sam. And that is scooped up by Dante Kolpog, and that will be a face-off within the Senators zone. I believe the second offensive zone face-off for the Young Nationals. Do you think they're going to be aggressive on this face-off already down 1-0?
I mean, if I'm the Young Nationals, I'm looking to get some sustained offensive zone pressure. Just cycle the puck around, try to get something on net, but don't force anything because you spent a lot of time in your own zone already.
And we've seen in games within the GTHL that these offensive zone face-offs are so crucial for puck possession and time on attack that can lead to a lot of momentum swings. We saw in the Red Wings game who were unable to win, but the Young Nationals threatening here as that is played alongside the boards and wheeled around the net. And it's picked up and wheeled around, but the Senators look to clear it out of the zone as there is a board battle on the far side, and they do in fact clear it out. Will that be an icing? That is waved off as it did not quite reach the red line, and that is trying to be broken out. A stretch pass is intercepted at the blue line and kept in by the Senators, but it comes back out and cleared right back in as defensemen will change for them.
If you're the Young Nationals here, you got to be happy with the way that you've adjusted to this game. You let that early goal, but now you force the Senators to dump it into your zone, not once, but twice in a row there. So keep applying the pressure and you'll get a chance to get back in this game.
Kulinksi is looking to break out of his own zone, hopping in off the rush, and he is stopped and neutralized, but picked right back up as the Nationals try to clear, but I believe that will be an offside call as we will have a neutral zone face-off. Sammy, to your point of trying to get settled into this game, since that first goal, we've seen a lot of mishandles of the puck and a lot of neutral zone turnovers. What do you think about that?
I mean, neither team is really settled in the game just yet, right? We haven't seen any sustained offensive zone pressure. That'll come to pass in a couple minutes, I think. I think both teams, they need to get a couple shifts under their belts, really get comfortable with the ice, with perhaps a new team. But once they get comfortable, they really lock into just the game, just the moment, we'll see more cohesive passing and higher percentage shot opportunities.
And the Young Nationals unable to keep that within the offensive zone faceoff, as Zilinski trying to wrap it around into the Young Nationals zone, but I believe that will be another offside call.
Yeah, and you'll see more and more offsides kind of at the starts of these games because, like I said, there's so much excitement at the start of the games, and that leads to interceptions, that leads to sloppy passes. But as the game progresses, you generally see less because, like I said, the line can just gel more comfortably and really know where their teammates are going to be.
Nanubhai, the goal scorer, back out there for the Senators, and he delivers a good shoulder check, but the Young Nationals are able to dump it into their zone, and that is Tait trying to wrap it around out of the zone, but that is Wilkinson cutting it off as the Young Nationals get a shot off, and that is turned to the far boards. The Young Nationals trying to gain some momentum by keeping it in the zone, but they are unable to do so momentarily, but they are able to fling it back behind the Mississauga Senators net, as that is Kulinksi, trying to headman it up the boards, and that will be dumped in, and it will be a puck battle along the boards, but that is the Mississauga Senators not being able to keep it in the zone as they circle back into their own zone. A lot of neutral zone turnovers here, unable to sustain some offensive momentum for both sides here.
Yeah, and if I was the Young Nationals there, and if I was McIntosh, I would have tried to carry it in deeper to the zone. I love the tendency to go for the dump and chase movement, but he had the advantage taking it wide just to get some puck possession, allow his line mates to change, and then he could go for the change himself. It's really about building that momentum in the offensive zone.
And that shot is on net, but that will be covered up, and some more extracurriculars as the whistle blows. It will be an offensive zone faceoff for the Senators. We've also seen a lot of play around the boards as no team has really been able to get that cross ice pass into open ice. You think if you're the coaches, you like that from your defense.
I mean, yeah, a lot of these defensive coaches are just telling their D-man and even their forwards, keep the guys wide, push them towards the boards. That's why players that have that extra step, that have the ability to burn the players from the wide, from the board, they have an advantage in this league.
Oliver Lima, he is sent away in chance for Kulinksi to win the faceoff, and that is kept in by the Senators as it is dumped back into the zone. However, cleared right back out as they try to regroup and circle back. Young Nationals, though, they corral it in their own zone, passing between D-men, trying to break something out here, and that's dumped into the Senators' zone. A lot of back and forth action as we have seen, but no real scoring opportunities have come from either side since that first goal.
That's right. We saw that first goal, and since then there's been a couple shots, but they've been right at the logo and haven't seen any grade A opportunities. You have to assume that there might be one off a turnover here, might be off a bounce, because you haven't seen them build one on their own, maybe off a power play or off sustained pressure.
And that's a rebound that is almost in the net off the shot of Chiella, which led up a nice rebound, but this is a 3-on-1 ensuing here for the Senators. He passes, shoots, and that's a great save from Deschamps, robbing him of a goal with the blocker, as the Senators get their second great scoring chance, but it is not to be from the denial from Deschamps, as the Young Nationals, they try to corral it in their own zone, and they will attempt to break it out. It's a 1-on-3 here for them as they try to get anything going, and that is saved, maybe not even getting a shot off, but now we see the action picking back up a little bit, and these turnovers leading to good chances as that open ice shot is stopped and covered up by Tomasi, as we have a couple great scoring chances for both sides there, some action picking up.
And it's like we saw each team kick it into another gear, and it all started from that save from Deschamps on the 3-on-1 opportunity. And that's how you get back into this game. You asked me earlier, how does Deschamps respond? That's how you respond. You get across the crease, make a big save, and now your team has a power play.
Exactly, Sammy, and that will be Jake Harris heading to the box for 2 minutes for cross-checking. A penalty that I don't think the Senators are really going to like. The puck wasn't really close when he made that cross-checking hit. If you're the coach, what's going through your mind right now?
Certainly not a penalty you want to take. I mean, there's not many good penalties in this league, but you want a penalty that can stop a goal. And that was just a simple battle in front, and he laid into him for the cross-check, and just a silly penalty to take. And it gives the Young Nationals a chance to not only score a power play goal, but to get themselves back in this game and get momentum on their side.
And that's Thompson trying to wheel the puck up for his forwards, as that is Augustin. He cuts through the middle, shot, and that is saved. And around the net now, the Nationals have a try on the wraparound pass, and that pass did not have all the pepper I'm sure he wanted to have. And that's back up to the point for Thompson, who shoots high. Rebound, and that is wide as well. Oh, great A opportunity for the Nationals, turned aside. Thompson trying to keep it in, and he does, but I believe that will be sent right to a Senators player who dumps, and the penalty killers will change. A very aggressive a very aggressive power play for the Young Nationals so far.
A very compact power play as well. We saw that they had 5 guys within the hash marks of the circles, all in on that center side, and it almost led to something there. If it was not for Tomasi, it could be a 1-1 game.
And that was dumped in by the captain, Chiella, as the Young Nationals try to get something going on this power play, and that is kept in the line by the Young Nationals and is cleared to the boards as they try to get something up. Chiella has it up to the point, sends it to his D partner, who sends it back down, up to Chiella, shot, scores! What a shot from the captain as Chiella ties it at 1 on the power play.
And I'd imagine that's just not what you want to see if you're the Senators. You were all over the Nationals to start off this game, took a dumb penalty, hate to say it, but it is a dumb penalty in this time, and now it's 1-1 thanks to the captain.
As you see the Senators team going to cheer on their goalie, that was a good shot, getting Tomasi right under the blocker, right above the pad, a perfectly placed shot from the captain, Chiella, as we are now tied 1-1 here with just over halfway to go in the first period. What do you think the Senators' mindset is? We were talking about how they were all over the Young Nationals to start this game. Now it's a 1-1 game.
I mean, they have to do the same thing that the Nationals did, just focus on their game and put some pressure in the offensive zone. Get a chance of yourself, try to draw a penalty, do something to get the momentum back on your side.
Wilkinson picks it up as icing is waved off, and he sends it to the D partner as the Young Nationals clear it, and the Young Nationals are trying to gain some momentum here in the offensive zone, as that will be an icing call going back the other way for the Senators. Now, I will say, we did talk about how Jake Harris's penalty might not have been the smartest, that cross-check to the back when the puck wasn't really even near him. How do you think the first game jitters play into that?
I mean, right now, especially as a defenseman, you're just doing everything you can, or in a defending position, just to get the guy away from the goalie. You don't want any offense drummed towards Tomasi if you're Harris. I understand the intention, you're trying to get him free, trying to make sure he wasn't too close to the crease. But there you have to be careful, because if you're a forward, you feel a stick on your back, especially in that moment you don't have the puck. You might go down a little bit easier. The refs are going to be calling that. Cross-checking is something that they're really looking at in the NHL and now down in the lower leagues as well. So you have to be very careful if you're Harris.
Refs certainly may be trying to set a precedent here early in the season in this first game for both teams, as the Young Nationals trying to break in the zone, trying to get a shot off, but that is broken up by the Mississauga Senators, but unable to clear it, as that is a bit of a collision in open ice as the Senators regain the puck, and that is Fortune trying to get it across for McIntosh, and that shot is wide. And a rebound that is hit on the chest, and that is cleared away by the Young Nationals defenseman. Good hit from behind there from Fortune, and that is kept in by Tait as he sends it to his D partner. Has a bit of a mishandles the puck, but that's sent back around to Tait as he tries to center the puck, and Deschamps goes down, but luckily the puck was not really near him as Tait goes back up to his D partner, shot, and I think that was blocked by maybe a teammate of his as he misses the hit as the Young Nationals try to clear the zone, but they are getting pressed deep in their zone behind their net as the Senators elect to change the puck as that puck is cleared down. No icing, says the linesman. Maybe unlucky break there for the Senators. We did say that this is the refs' first game too, and they might be trying to set precedents with their calls.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends about how the player gets back into their own zone, whether it's going to be called an icing or not. Some refs are very strict with if it's beyond, the red line, it's an ice. Some care about the way the defenders get back. I always, as a forward, would forecheck the puck as hard as I could in order to mitigate the icing call.
A shot wide from Zamet as Thompson tries to get a shot off, and that is saved by Tomasi as a behind the net battle ensues as the Young Nationals try to regain possession here, trying to look up for his D-men, and that will be cleared by the Senators as maybe a 3-on-2 here forming. Zamet has the puck. He drops it back to him, and that is saved. Excuse me, that wasn't them. That was Luke Timmins with the shot there. As the puck gets cleared out, that'll be Nolan Gray who sends it to his D partner, who clears it in. And that is Oliver Lemma trying to regain the puck for the Nationals as he tries to fight the puck alongside the boards. And that is Kulinksi trying to regain the puck for them. But again, the young Nationals doing a good job keeping the Senators to the board and clearing them out. This game, if there was a pattern to this game here, I would say the Senators are doing a good job getting it in. That shot is wide. But just going back to what I was saying, the Senators are doing a good job dumping the puck and getting it in the zones, but the Nationals, they're doing a great job holding the Senators to the boards.
Yeah, like we said earlier, they're doing a great job at keeping them wide, not allowing them to jump up the middle. That was the exact goal that the Senators scored. It was Nanubhai jumping up the middle, collapsing on a loose puck, picking his spot, and scoring. So keeping them wide will allow Deschamps to not only get settled in this game, but give him a little bit of an easier target. You know, those shots from the side, not as high percentage as the ones right up the flank.
And that will be an icing call against the Mississauga Senators. Now, again, we talked a lot about some nervous energy. Do you see any nervous energy when it comes to the passes from either of these teams?
No, now I think it's just more about them getting comfortable with their line. This could be the first time that these guys are really playing together in a game scenario. So it'll take a sec, like I said earlier, for them to gel, to get comfortable, to know where their teammates are in any given situation. But the longer this game goes and the longer this season goes, we'll see crisper and crisper passing.
And that icing was waved off as Wilkinson dishes it to Laroque as he dumps it in to the center zones as the young Nationals corral it behind the net. And that shot gets through and a rebound. Good stop from Tomasi, shutting down a great rebound chance right in front of the net there. As the young Nationals, they are adding pressure more and more to the Senators' defense.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Tomasi, you got to kind of shake your team into it a little bit. He's made a couple 10-bell saves to keep this from being 1-1. He made a couple 10-bell saves earlier to keep it from being tied. So now, if you're the Senators, you have to take advantage of this power play opportunity. Give Tomasi a break and maybe get momentum back on your side.
I was going to say, my Irish accent came a little bit out on that great call, going back to my Irish roots, even though I don't really have any. But as the Senators, their first power play of the season, trying to score much like the Young Nationals did, do you think the Senators' power play will be nearly as aggressive as the Young Nationals were?
I mean, you got to wonder what their system is. They look to be a little bit more spread out than the Nationals were, but whatever works for your team play, whatever can get the best high-quality shots on.
And we saw the sentiment going to change after they won the faceoff. That is Luke Timmins coming back on the ice for the Senators. As we haven't really seen a point pass until, of course, I just said a little announcer's jink there. And that shot into the body of Deschamps. Good play, good set play, passing it around the horn right into the center of the ice. But a great save from Deschamps.
And you'll notice that the Senators, they added an extra forward there. It's another penalty here for the Young Nationals. Looks to be a head contact call, and that was smart from the Senators to get Tomasi out of the net, get the extra forward in there, and get the cycle going. Now a great opportunity for them towards the end of this period to get the second goal and to get the momentum fully on their side. 5-on-3 for quite some time.
If you're the Young Nationals, you're thinking, man, this is our first penalty kill. Let's see if we can get our special teams unit rolling a little bit. And now you're facing a 5-on-3, a great chance for the Senators as they get that face-off wraparound. That's not working, but McIntosh trying to ram it home past Deschamps, and he can't get that past him. A fire drill to start this 5-on-3 for the Senators.
Yeah, and a great start from the Senators to just throw something on the net. You know, a lot of these power plays, they look for the perfect shot, and you always love to see it, but 5-on-3, you have more players than they do. You have 5, they have 3. You got to let them panic. Worst thing that can happen is you get a big rebound where you're not covered.
5-on-3, they have an advantage. That's certainly how a power play works, Sammy, expert analyst there, as the Young Nationals clear it in. Oh, man, I make myself laugh. As the Senators try to break out of their zone. Again, a 5-on-3, we'll see how they take it into their zone and get set up. And that is Nanubhai on the corner. He passes it to the hash marks, who holds it, holding it back up to Tait. Tait to Nanubhai. Nanubhai wrists one, scores! And he gets his second of the game, and it is 2-1 for the Senators off the 5-on-3. Duly noted that the original penalty was not due. It will still be a power play for the Senators.
That's right, and a chance to take an even further leap in this game. Like I said, 5-on-3, my expert analyst there, as you put it, really came to play. They let themselves get set up, but they just got a shot on net. And when there's that many people and that much traffic, Arjun Nanubhai, we've seen his shot now, that he makes no mistake. He's expertly placed 2 shots in this game. And the Senators, if I'm their coach, I'm sending Nanubhai out to play 60 minutes.
You know what? That might be their strategy. And I'm not too sure if it was a scoreboard issue or if we just missed it originally, but it seems like the Nationals actually suffered a double minor as the scoreboard showed that there are still 3 minutes and 20 seconds left on the power play for the Senators as they try to win the puck, and it is taken by Gal Gray. And Sammy, if you're the Mississauga Senators, now that it's back to 5-on-4, do you think you're a little bit more conservative with just how much time is left on the power play?
Oh, I'd say the opposite, actually, Simon. I'm trying to push offensively as possible. Tack on another one here. Really demotivate the young Nationals. Really put the momentum on your side going into the second period.
Gal Gray quarterbacking the second power play unit for the Senators. Let's see if this second unit has as much luck as the first. They're ringing around the horn, and that's a shot saved by Deschamps with the pad, and it's back up to Gal Gray. These Senators really like to ring it around the horn, trying to throw something on net for their centerman to draw something up, and that is Luke Timmins centering this line as he corrals the puck and passes it right back up to Gal Gray.
Gal Gray with a wicked shot himself, but a great job by Timmins to keep that one in.
And that is a glove stop from Deschamps. You notice on that, the Nationals, they have a very relaxed, calm presence on the penalty kill, really clogging up that center of the ice that kind of goes against what the Senators are trying to do, trying to ring it around the horn, trying to get the young Nationals defenders out of position. They weren't falling for it, and that leads to an easy glove save by Deschamps. Do you think there's been any difference between this second power play unit and this first?
Yeah, I mean, it's a similar structure, right? It's a similar setup. They set up that diamond or box formation. And the key for them right now is just to not allow tough shots onto the net of Deschamps. They got to let Deschamps make the easy saves. A shot is a shot, but if you just let him get in position, not allow a high danger opportunity, you're doing your job as a PKer.
And there's now approximately 2 minutes left on this power play, 1 minute left in the period, so the Senators, barring a goal, will head into the second period with the power play as Tait, he corrals it behind the net and passes it right back up to his winger, who elects to carry it through the blue line, passing defenders, and that pass is just mishandled from the centerman as there is a net battle just around the back of the net, but that is scooped up by Deschamps. A dangerous opportunity there for the Senators, gobbled up by their goaltender.
Yeah, it was a great job from Deschamps just to jump on it, get the face-off, get a whistle, and regroup, because there was some high-danger opportunities there. He saw the streaming in, sends forward, nearly get a piece of it, and with Deschamps down, that would have been an easy goal. So good job to just corral it, take a breather, and get reset up.
Looks like Oliver Park trying to be the quarterback of this power play. He's out there with his D partner, Jake Harris, who's had a couple great looks as the centerman gets waved off, and that is none other than Arjun Nanubhai taking the face-off as the young Nationals trying to get it out of their zone. Could be an opportunity here as Augustin, he shoots, and it's stopped by Tomasi on the PK. You saw some aggressiveness there from the young Nationals penalty kill. With just 20 seconds left, do you think that the Nationals have a chance at a goal here?
I mean, it would be a big-time victory just to win the face-off, just to ensure yourself going into the period only down by 1. Great save there by Tomasi, by the way, to cut off the angle. He noticed his attacker was going wide, and he just cut it off completely.
And that was Oliver Omasta taking the draw for the young Nationals. Almost seems like he was going to win it, but the Senators are pushing it through their zone, as again electing to carry it through the blue line, trying to headman that centerman, withdrawing the D to the puck carrier. Hasn't worked out 2 times in a row. Do you think the Nationals are kind of wearing on to their strategy?
Maybe so, and I mean, the more this game goes on, the more comfortable they get. Obviously, with the period ending, a period in the books, you got to assume that the Senators are getting settled in, and the young Nationals going into the period on the PK, that's a dangerous opportunity. But good for them just to make sure that they're only down by 1 going into number 2.
As to your point, Sammy, the score is 2-1 for the Senators heading in to the second period. The Senators still have 1 minute and 2 seconds left on the power play. If you were to draw on any patterns or trends in that first period, do you think there's a story to this game so far?
I mean, not really. We saw a lot of back and forth within the first couple minutes. The story right now is that the goaltenders are keeping their teams in this game. We've seen a couple high danger opportunities on both sides, but for the Young Nationals, they need to ensure that they don't take another penalty. Now, if you're a penalty kill unit, you can get comfortable, you can catch teams off guard, but the Sens, they will have seen this penalty kill unit for quite some time. They know their tactics, they know how to work around them. So if you're the Young Nationals, you need to stay disciplined or you're not going to have a chance to get back in this game.
And of course, in this GTHL division, intermissions will take place between the second and third period. Just a short little TV timeout, as the pros say, in between first and second, as the Senators will go back out there on the power play. Someone obviously you need to highlight on the Senators, Arjun Nanubhai. He's got 2 goals off 2 wicked shots. You know he's going to be out there centering this first power play unit.
Yeah, and the best thing about his game so far is his confidence. He's not hesitating on his shots. He's picking his spots and firing them. That's what you need to do. You can't allow yourself to second guess the shot or else it'll be blocked. The goalie will have that split second to readjust, and he hasn't done that so far. He's been so efficient and so confident, and he's the main reason why the Sens are up 2-1 in this game.
You know, as this first period has come to a close, do you think there's any change in mindset or feeling for both these goaltenders? We saw both Massimo Tomasi and Deschamps have some great saves in that first period. Do you think nerves have settled for them, and what do you think is going through their minds?
I think both of them know that they're playing a pretty solid game so far. Each goal has been a wicked shot, like you said. We've seen 3 perfectly placed shots, 3 low blocker shots, and those are usually pretty hard to get as a goaltender anyway. All you need to do is just keep playing the way you're playing and remind yourself, it's not my fault that I'm down, or remind yourself, it's not my fault that I let that first one in.
And that was actually Oliver Lima's line, the second power play unit, getting in to start this period for the Mississauga Senators, electing not to go with the 2-time goal scorer in this game, Arjun Nanubhai, as that is Matthew Zilinski trying to take it into the zone, but the Young Nationals, they will control the puck along the sideboards there as a puck battle ensues, and that is taken up by Dante Colpa. Oh, big hit there from the Senators. However, that will be cleared as this penalty kill seeming a bit more comfortable, almost as if they know exactly what the Senators power play is going to do.
That's right. I made that point about how the power play has seen the penalty kill unit a lot, but same goes for the penalty K unit. They've seen the way that the power play operates, and I think that big hit on the boards earlier caught us a little bit off guard because we haven't seen too much physicality aside from the Senators. We've really only seen Liam Fortune lay the body, so it's nice to see everyone getting involved in the physicality because teams are looking for that as well.
And as Oliver Almasta taking the puck in for the Young Nationals, as we are back to even strength here early in the second period, just a minute and a half down, and that will be an icing call going back the other way for an offensive zone faceoff for the Young Nationals. If you're the Young Nationals right now, how important is this faceoff to try and get some momentum back on your side?
I think it's pretty important. It's not even about generating a scoring opportunity. It's just about spending some time in the Senators zone because you never know what's going to happen. If you just get the cycle going, you can draw a penalty, you can get a shot off, and you can just get the ice tilted towards your way a little bit more.
And that's Kalen Schmidt winning the faceoff back. And that's a shot from the point that is sent wide from Tomasi. And that's a good hit to get the possession back into a Senators defenseman as they try to break up pass along the boards, but that is given right back up to Alexander Hahn. Luke Solomon will elect to take it back into his zone, trying to get it back in, but that is the Mississauga Senators getting the puck right back where they want it on their defenseman's stick. As you see, another dump and chase for them. Taking it around the net is Robert Knight. Senators it can't get the pass through as it is turned over, and that will be Henry McIntosh yet again. He's got his fingerprints all over this game, picking up those loose turnovers from the Nationals. He's someone you got to keep an eye out. He's just sniffing for a goal. Look how much he's skating out there, and that's a good hit from him as well.
Yeah, and what a shift this has been so far for Robert Knight with the forecheck and the shot opportunity there. He has been on for quite some time. This is a long shift into forecheck, and to get that puck, to get this offensive onslaught started, you got to give him credit.
And there is a cross check to the face. That is a no call. I think the Young Nationals got away with a pretty major call there. That seemed like a pretty blatant cross check right to the face of a Senators player.
Yeah, you can't do that, to quote that one ref that one time. You simply can't do that. And yeah, maybe they got away with one there.
That was a pretty blatant cross check to the face. I mean, if you're an official, you see the hands go up right to the chin. Maybe you think he's embellishing a little bit, but I think that got a lot of the chin. As instead of a power play opportunity for the Sens, you have a defensive zone face-off that is going to be redone. Again, we were saying this, it's the ref's first game too. I don't know. I don't know how you can't have a call there.
I mean, perhaps they're just trying to let the players play themselves. You know, you don't want to take too much control of the game. We saw in the Marlboroughs game earlier, there was like 11 penalties in the last couple minutes.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
It really slows down the pace of the play, and it really determines the outcome of the game. So maybe they're just trying to keep this knotted up, only calling something egregious.
And that is taken around the back of the net, but played right back up to the point and back around the net. But a Senators player does try to get in the way there as a puck battle ensues. It is two Nationals, two Senators trying to get it out of the zone, and the Senators do finally end up getting it, but a Nationals player holds it up. Good little shoulder-to-shoulder contact there, trucking his way through. Is Colten Wilkinson, the big-bodied defenseman, showing that he's not just a defender and he can take the puck through, trying to spark something for the Senators team, and that will be an icing call. Sammy, you know, we talk about the GTHL and how much forward talent that they produce. But these defensemen, they know how to move the puck, they know how to skate, and more importantly, they know how to use their size against these smaller forwards.
That's right, and to be a defenseman now in today's day and age, you got to have some offensive power. We've seen guys like Cale Makar, Quinn Hughes, even Evan Bouchard become great defensemen in the NHL because of their size, but because of the way that they use it and the way they jump in on the offensive front as well. It's so important now to have a piece of offense in your game as a defender.
And that is Kalen Schmidt and the faceoff dot for the Nationals as they elect to dump it right back in and make the Senators go chase it. A lot of dump and chase here in this game. Do you think as this game goes on and maybe tight hits get it to be a little bit more tight, a little bit more, nitty gritty, do you think we'll see a little bit more carry-ins?
Perhaps, if they have a little bit less energy, you see the game transfer into more of a carry-in mindset. But my opinion as a player was always don't dump if you're not going to chase, because then you're just giving the possession away. If you don't know your teammates or you are going after that puck, carry it in, remain the possession on your side.
A few good shoulder checks there, and that is Kieran Kinsella trying to clear it out of the zone for the Young Nationals. But man, this puck, it feels like this puck is either on the boards the whole time or right at that blue line for either team or around the net. We're talking about how tightly contested this game is. Not a lot of chances in open ice for either teams here. And that puck is turned over at the blue line, shot on, and that's a blocker save from Deschamps, turning it right into the corner. And man, these board battles, I feel like these board battles are just going to win the game. Who has the lack of effort for one of these plays could determine this game. That's a centering shot, but that has gone wide from the Senators. That was Oliver Lima trying to get it right on goal, right in front of the net, but he misses wide as there is now 5 minutes gone in the second period. We're seeing the tempo of this game turn up a little bit.
Yeah, and seeing the physicality turn up as well. We saw Lima with that opportunity coming in. He split the D in there, stopping the Young Nationals forward from getting it out of the zone and getting comfortable within the neutral zone. And that's what you like to see. Get involved on offense, throw the body around. And in this league, there is sometimes height discrepancies, and you have to use that if you're one of the bigger guys.
These National defenders have been in their own zone for well over a minute now as the Senators try to take advantage, and that is kept in by Fortune. Fortune, cross-ice pass, and he can't connect that one-timer. The pros make it look easy, but my word, it's anything but that, as that is elected to go right back up to the point and right back around the net for another board battle as the Nationals finally do clear it, trying to get a change, and that will not be an icing call as these very tired defensemen get a much-needed break.
Yeah, we just saw the rare 5-man change there. Every Young Nationals player got off the ice. Every Young Nationals player swapped because they were tired out there. They got lucky on that no icing call, and now a little bit of extracurriculars as we knew it would pick up. towards the end of this game.
And that is a big hands to the face right there. Will that draw any attention from the referees, I wonder? An after whistle penalty like that, we've seen a couple of them already in the season with the Marlboro's Red Wings game. Costly penalties, especially with both teams having already scored on the power play.
Yeah, we saw Fortune get sent into the bench there. We've seen him lay the body a couple times tonight. We've seen him get involved on offense. So you got to wonder if there's any calls here, if they're just telling them to, hey, settle down, boys.
Well, you do see the referees discussing with the teams, and now a linesman goes over to the Senators coaches as well, trying to, again, maybe just calm this game down like we were just saying. The tempo and the physicality of this game has turned up quite a bit, but it looks like it will remain 5-on-5. Do you like that call?
I think you do. I think what the referees are discussing with the coaches there is just that they've issued warnings. They've said, okay, settle down. You can't really he said, she said that play because it was just a scrum right near the bench. You just say, hey guys, settle down. And then maybe the next egregious play, the next level of physicality we see after the whistle, maybe that's when the referees step in.
And the Senators are dumping it down. That's Robert Knight going after it in the corner as the man Arjun Nanubhai, the multi-goal scorer, he's back out on the ice for the Senators, and that was a nifty little play. A shot on, and that, I believe, is tipped wide from a Nationals defenders. That was Harry McIntosh with the shot there, as the young Nationals, they dump it right back around the Mississauga Senators goalie. A lot of this game has come down to these board battles kind of past the goal line on either side. But this is a chance here. Dropped off for the man, and that is shot wide. Oh, what an opportunity there. Maybe the first time since it's that second goal where the Senators have had an open ice chance like that.
Yeah, and I like that use of the centering pass into the slot. If you're the Young Nationals, you have to stop that because that is like Christmas morning for forwards when they have the chance to do what Arjun Nanubhai did earlier and pick his spot. A lot of these guys, they'll find it.
And that was a big hit issued towards Harry McIntosh that gave the Young Nationals a pretty good chance at the front of the net, but that will be cleared for an icing by the Senators. You know, I feel like in hockey nowadays, a lot of people are electing to take an icing if it means that they kind of escape a fire drill. You know, we saw that last year specifically in the Winnipeg Jets St. Louis Blues Game 7 when St. Louis, they dumped the puck approximately 15 times in the last minute, leading to a goal. Do you like that strategy of just getting the icing call and getting it out of the way, or are you more trying to see people make these skilled plays in their own end?
I mean, if you have the opportunity to carry it across the line, that's what you want to do every time. You want to get fresh legs on the ice, but sometimes you're not afforded that gift. Sometimes the best thing you can do is take the gamble, hope you win the faceoff, and then just do the same thing. It's all about putting yourself in a better position to just get the puck out and negate that ice tilt, you know, that concept of you being hammered in your own end.
Exactly, and that's Dante Colpaw, again, dumping it in for the Senators. A lot of dump and chase here in this game. That's why we're seeing a lot of this physicality get to where it's at in this game. That's Colpaw, yet again, taking the puck around. And the Senators, they did seem like the dominant team, but it looks like in the second period, the Nationals, they've had their number when it comes to a lot of these chances where they're trying to get some offense going.
I mean, that's what you need to do as the Young Nationals. You know, they haven't drummed up as much offense on their own end, but to just stop the Senators from getting in a place where it's all them driving the pace of the game, that's what you got to do. And then hopefully you can capitalize on a turnover, you can capitalize on some neutral zone play to generate some offense of your own.
And that's Kalen Schmidt back out there. The Nationals really love Kalen Schmidt in these offensive zone faceoffs, and you'll see why, as he just won right back to Kinsella, but he puts it right back in the corner for the Senators to pick up. Again, we haven't really seen a ton of grade A chances here in this game, and the ones that we have seen usually have resulted in goals. If you're either of these goalies right now, are you just thinking to yourself, man, I can't be the guy who lets in the next goal? Or is it more like we just kind of take the game as it comes?
You absolutely just take the game as it comes. You know, both goalies have performed pretty solidly so far. You can't blame them for any of the goals. So what you need to do is just keep playing in your position. Just don't make any costly mistakes. Do what Steve Dangle says, pen the goal, don't worry about the pucks coming out, and allow the other team to make the mistake first. You want, if you're Tomasi, you want Deschamps to make the mistake and vice versa.
And that is almost a chance for the Senators, but that chance is thwarted away by the Young Nationals defender. You know, I will say I'm quite impressed with how tightly the Young Nationals have been able to defend these Senators. You saw the first 10 seconds, just a brutal turnover in their own zone, and the power play goal was just a wicked shot from Nanubhai. But other than that, a little stick tap to the back of Robert Knight there from the Young Nationals defender. A little bit of chippiness, and you got, I was going to say, that's a penalty. That's a slash right there. That's getting called 10 times out of 10. And if you're the Young Nationals, you just cannot make that play.
Yeah, that is a brutal play. No reason for that. You had an offensive zone face-off. Now you're on the penalty kill just to kind of, retaliate for a play earlier. Maybe something was said, but not the penalty you wanted to take. I was about to say this next goal is so important because it either extends the lead or ties the game. And I got to say, with the way the Senators are playing, if they go up 3, it'll be very hard for the Young Nationals to come back.
Just under 6 minutes here in this second period as the Senators, they try to get this power play set up. And that's a centering pass that goes wide, but Nolan Gallagher, he collects the puck and he takes it back to Nanubhai, but that is tucked right back to Gallagher as he tries to quarterback this offense. Looking for the hat trick is Nanubhai, and that pass just does not get to its target. And there's a race for it, and Gallagher, he corrals it, but maybe taken away by Alexander Hahn as there's a puck battle behind the Senators net on the power play. That's not what you want to have happen, especially in only a 2-minute power play.
That's right, and it was just a bit of miscommunication from Nanubhai, not ready for that first pass.
Robert Knight, he swings it around the boards, and that will be Luke Timmons who picks it back up and puts it right back to the point, and that's Nanubhai again. The man looking for the hat trick sends it down to Robert Knight around the net. Pass it to Gallagher. Gallagher with the shot, and that will be stopped by Deschamps right at the logo. Good job from the Nationals defenders clearing the goalie's vision, not allowing tips, not allowing him to get in his face, and it remains a 2-1 game.
Yeah, absolutely. And with a minute left in the power play, you'll see both extra units come on here. If you're the Sens, just keep hammering shots towards Deschamps. You got to keep putting pressure on him. Don't allow him to get comfortable on this power play and try to gain that momentum even if you don't score going into the third.
And that faceoff is won by the Senators, and that is Tait quarterbacking this power play yet again. They love him in the spot, and that is a shot, and that is kept out by Deschamps momentarily. Another shot on, but that is blocked by the Nationals defender, and they just can't get it out of their zone as he makes the diving play, but that will be an offside call. Oh, what an effort play, though, from the Senators there. I thought that was onside, but that's why I'm up here, and the ref's right there.
That's right, and that was a beautiful effort to keep it, and I love that out of the Senators there. But what I also love is the way that Fortune on that centering pass opportunity just streamed in. He didn't make a big show out of it. He kind of sneakily came in, was ready there for the pass, and almost made the most of his opportunity. I really like the way that Fortune has played so far in this game.
He has had his fingerprints all over this game as the Senators dump it right back behind the Young National zone and has played right back up to Fortune. Pressure on him. He swings it across, swings it back down, and plays it right back up to the point, skating with it now. The Senators walks the line, keeps it in. Fortune, he takes a shot. That was Kulinksi. And he takes a shot right to the logo. 23 seconds left with this power play. Not really a grade A chance for the Senators team, but like you said, keeping the momentum in their hands, not allowing the Nationals to really touch the puck and clear the zone. Do you think with 23 seconds left, they're trying to score in these 23 seconds, or are they just trying to keep the puck in the zone?
I mean, it's all about the opportunity that presents itself. Let the game come to you. Let the Young Nationals determine kind of your aggressiveness here. If the opportunity presents itself, you got to go for it.
And that's Robert Knight who mishandles the puck around the zone, and that will be cleared by the Nationals defender right back down, and that is Arjun Nanubhai picking it up. He elects to just take his time, maybe get this 5-on-5 unit back on, but maybe chance for one more rush to get it deep into their zone, and that is taken by the winger who puts it to the front of the net, and that is stopped by Deschamps. Even strength now with just over 3.5 minutes to go in this second period.
And way to set up the play there. I mean, you gotta be proud if you're the Young Nationals coach of that PK effort, and you gotta be proud of the way Deschamps has kept this one at 2-1, has kept the lead minimal, because really that could have been 3-1, could have been 4-1. But the Young Nationals, they get away with that silly penalty once again, and now more than ever, they need to stay disciplined. And, the way he tapped him, I initially thought it was his buddy, maybe a former teammate. But immediately the ref jumped on him. So he must have said something. There must have been a play behind the play that incited that initial slash.
As we do say, that was a silly little penalty. But at the same time, maybe the Young Nationals trying to set a tone that, some of those comments, some of those big hits that we've seen just won't fly with them, maybe to try to find that identity. But you're right, that was not the best penalty to take in that moment, already down 1-0, as that will be an icing call coming right back to the National zone with just over 3 minutes left to play in the second period. Have you noticed anything different between periods here?
I mean, I've noticed the Senators, because of the Young Nationals and the way that they've not been disciplined, they've been allowed the control of the pace of the game, and that's so important, especially when there's guys like Nanubhai who can just fire the puck at the net, guys who can just control the puck in the offensive zone. And really, the best defense is a good offense here for the Senators, and they've done that most of the period.
I was going to say, the Senators really do love that dump and chase technique. While it might not be 100% effective, it is effective in keeping the puck in the Young National zone. However, the Young Nationals trying to apply pressure here, as Kinsella trying to take a shot on net, but that is sent way wide as it comes right back up to him, and he dumps it right back in the corner for his teammate to go chase it. As the puck battle does ensue, we got a couple of Young Nationals trying to get the puck right back to Kinsella, and he shoots it wide. Man, he loves that far right corner with those shots. Are you trying to see a little bit more accuracy out of him, or is that just like get a puck deep in the zone for your forwards to go and chase?
It's interesting because we've seen a bunch of pucks from not just Kinsella, but all of the Young Nationals defensemen go into that corner. It seems like that is a game plan, trying to get the puck into the corner for the forward that is down low, maybe start a cycle. But I think if you're the Young Nationals right now, you haven't really tested Tomasi in this period. Get a shot on net. Maybe it'll get a deflection. Maybe it'll get a bounce, a rebound, or something. You got to do something to spark your offense.
And that was a pretty solid shot that Tomasi did have to save, but it hits him right in the logo as the Senators tried to clear that puck out. Will that be an icing call? It will not be, as the Young Nationals tag that puck and it is sent right back behind their net, as the Senators, they try to cut some momentum going in their offensive zone. Just over 2 minutes there left to go in the second period, as they try to take a 2-goal lead going into the third. And that will be is that a penalty, perhaps?
I believe it's just a high stick call there from the Nationals, so the faceoff will stay inside. The same hand motion there. Looked like a stick got up. Sometimes the referees will allow a penalty there if it's in a dangerous position, up on a player's mask, but there, just contact with the puck, so a faceoff inside.
Again, just under 2 minutes to go in the second period. If you're the Senators, are you more thinking we need a late-time goal, or are you just thinking we have to sustain this lead until we get into the third period? Because these Nationals, we've seen these past couple minutes, they've been hemmed in their zone essentially the entire period, expecting some aggressiveness to come from the Nationals here in the next couple minutes.
Yeah, if I'm the Senators, I'm keeping doing what I've been doing. It's been working. They've drummed up all the offense this period. Just be smart, stay disciplined, and you'll give yourself a real shot at closing this one out.
And that's a shot right from Kulinksi, and he misses wide with the shot. But like we were saying, the Senators, again, with all this offensive momentum, taking the puck right back behind the Young Nationals net, just taking this time on attack. And that's a shot from Luke Timmins, but a great glove save by Deschamps, keeping this a 2-1 game. He was trying to pick that corner, maybe go off the bar like we saw Nanubhai do early in this game, but he is denied with the glove. And you see these offensive zone faceoffs so important in a game like this. If you're the Young Nationals, I think this is a very important faceoff to get it out, or to at least get a chance to get it back deep into the center zone with just over a minute here to play. But that will be taken by the Young Nationals. Looked like it was going the Senators' way for a second, but they try to get it deep into their zone, and they do indeed, as the winger coming down behind the Senators' net, but he is met by multiple defenders. Man, I'm loving how these Senators are just collapsing on the puck anytime these Young Nationals get close to their net.
And they're doing the right thing. They're not letting the Young Nationals get set up. As we see some more pushing and shoving behind the play, maybe now the refs will take the whistles out of their pockets, but that's what you got to do as the Senators. You got to not allow the Young Nationals to get themselves back into this game. You got to keep controlling the pace, dictating the pace of play, because it's working right now. We haven't seen very much offense at all in this frame from the Young Nationals.
And to that point, that was the net getting knocked off of its post there. Tomasi, he's got a few really routine saves. A few of his saves in this period have been right at the logo. Maybe the Nationals got to make him a bit more uncomfortable here in the third. And that is a shot right out of the net, but that is sent wide by the Senators as the Nationals try to get this out of their zone. Perhaps an icing call incoming, and that is indeed an icing call coming right back to the National zone for a face-off.
And if you're the Young Nationals coaching staff, you're going into the next period and just thanking your lucky stars that you have Deschamps on your team, because he has been the life force of this Young Nationals team. He has kept it from being a blown open game, kept it from being a blowout. So if you're the Young Nationals coaches and players, you better give him a tap and thank him for a job well done thus far.
Now, we did mention this earlier in the broadcast. However, between second and third periods, there is a longer intermission. Perhaps this is just a case of first game of the year. Maybe these National skaters are just a bit tired and letting the game come to them instead of attacking. But perhaps a late chance here, and that is sent way wide to the other side of the ice by the Nationals. And it looks like perhaps a late penalty incoming as the Young Nationals. Yes, I believe this will be a penalty drawn towards the Young Nationals for a slashing call, as there is some extracurriculars after the whistle, which seems like a common trend in this game.
Yeah, these teams, clearly they don't like each other, put simply. It actually looks like it'll be the Senators heading to the box here. And good job from the Young Nationals not to retaliate.
And you're right, that was Dante Kolpa taking the slashing penalty there. I'm not too sure if we exactly saw where it happened. Perhaps it was behind the play or just trying to get the stick lifted off the ice that accidentally hit a forearm. But either way, looks like these Young Nationals will be starting the third period with a power play bearing a late time goal. As the referee is set to drop the puck here in the dying moments of the second period. And the Nationals do win that, and that's a late shot, but that will conclude the second period here. The Young Nationals will head into the third period up a man. Sammy, it is duly worth noting that they do get quite the intermission break, maybe trying to get some tired legs, a much-needed rest, as the Senators has just been all over them in this game so far. What do you think is being said in the Young Nationals locker room?
I think if I'm in the Young Nationals locker room right now, one, I'm thanking Deschamps, like I said earlier, but also I'm drawing up a play for this opening face-off on the power play. They have to get the offense going right away. They can't allow the Sens to have a nice penalty kill and take back control of the game. If you're the Young Nationals right now, this is the most important face-off of the game thus far. Get on the offense right away, put some pressure on Tomasi right away, and give yourself a chance to get back in it.
And that first goal, I should say the only goal that the Young Nationals scored was on the power play, and that was their captain, Joseph Chiella. Do you think you set up a play for him, or do you think you try to go with one of the more skilled forwards and he may just be there as a decoy or maybe to make a stretch pass?
I think you just set up shots inside, get a deflection, use your defenseman. We saw that the Senators, they kept the Nationals in tight. They didn't push them wide as much as the Young Nationals did on the PK. So if they want to put traffic in front of the net, take advantage. Put it 6 inches off the ice. Hope you get a deflection. Hope you catch Tomasi off guard.
And one player I want to mention as we come into a power play here, Reed Petco. I mean, he is their first-line winger. He might be one of their more skilled wingers here. He hasn't really done much in this game so far. We see him try to break out, make a play, but he hasn't really had that grade A chance that I'm sure he expects from himself and his team expects from him. I'm looking at him to be a driving force in this period if they want any chance of scoring and coming back in this game.
Yeah, at these conjunctions, you just want the players to stick to the game plan, but also somebody has to be a hero. It's like John Cooper said, somebody's got to be selfish. When you need a goal badly, it doesn't matter who it is up and down the lineup, as long as the score is tied. You don't really care, but Petco, it seems like he's due. He's had a couple opportunities in this game to get going.
And you see Chiella, the lone goal scorer for the Senators. He is out on the ice, obviously, and that's a set play like you were talking about, almost a shot right from the center ice. And they automatically, 1 second into this period, it seems, 8 seconds into the second period, they got an offensive zone power play, exactly like how they scored their first goal with Joseph Chiella, the goal scorer. He's right at the top of it here, and he has the puck, sends it to his D partner, who sends it right down to the boards and right back up. And we're playing a little tic-tac-toe here amongst themselves, trying to get these Mississauga Senators to bait on something, but it's just not working right now. And Chiella, he makes a good move, keeping the puck on his stick, but what a great defensive play from the Senators. Maybe a chance here. That was the man of the game, perhaps, for the Senators, Arjun Nanubhai, making a great defensive play to get the puck out of the zone and out of the hands of the Young Nationals' best player and goal scorer here. As the Young Nationals, they elect to carry it into the ice. Tries for a centering pass, but that's tipped right behind the net as they try to get it back up to the point, and that's a shot, but that goes wide, but right back to the Young Nationals. Young Nationals trying to get into center ice, and that's another great defensive poke from Nanubhai. He has just had his fingerprints all over this game. That was Matthew Zilinski making that fantastic poke check. 2 plays where the Young Nationals trying to get into the center of the ice, 2 poke checks that drive them right back, as that will be called for an offside. A bit of more of an aggressive power play from the Nationals, but just as aggressive defense from the Senators here.
That's right. The Young Nationals, time runs out on you real quick when you're down. When you're up, it feels like it drags on forever. But when you are down a goal, it feels like time ticks away rapidly. So they've got to do a better job at entering the zone. But that's credit to the Senators and doing a good job at blocking the line.
And just 43 seconds left to go on this man advantage for the Young Nationals. And we have Petko, the player to watch this period, out there for them, one of their more skilled wingers. I think if you're the Young Nationals, at this point in the game, I think you have to try to carry the puck in more than dump and chase, as that just hasn't been working for the team the whole game.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, like I said, you can't dump and chase without chasing, because that's just giving the puck to the other team. And so you got to do what you can to get the puck down deep into the zone and hopefully start a cycle.
And that will be the Young Nationals winning the puck on the face-off, and that's Thompson, who elects to go right back to his D-man, but that's Thompson bringing it back around the net, trying to get this power play set up, and that's a little slash there, a little more chippiness just added to this game, like the no call there, though that was more of a friendly tap. But the Nationals trying to get something going here, but this aggressive penalty kill from the Senators, too much for them to handle, as they are going right back down to their zone. Just a tough break for the Young Nationals. Man, they can't get anything set up. They can't even get out of their zone, it seems like. What an aggressive aggressive penalty kill from the Senators here.
Yeah, that's right, and they're doing a good job at, like I said, plugging the line, but they're not allowing the Young Nationals to advance. It's like as the first line moves up, they go down. They're blocking the line, and then once they get into the next zone, they're blocking the line ahead of them. They're doing a very good job at keeping everyone in front of them, including the puck.
A center ice faceoff is won by the Senators and dumped right down into the National zone, as that will do it for the Young Nationals power play. We are back to even strength as Tait joins the play, coming right back out of the box, and that is sent into the Young Nationals zone. It will not be an icing call, as the Young Nationals try to break out of their zone, but it is taken at the point by the Senators. Walking the line, they have it now, and that's Tait with a shot on net, and that is sent right back to the boards for the Senators to pick up. And that's Lima in the corner trying to win the puck battle here. A lot of these puck battles seeming to go the Senators' way in this game, which is leading to all of this time on attack. Another puck battle. Man, this is a good one, as the refs don't elect to blow the whistle. Good call. I like letting the boys play, and that's Aaron's stick is cleared out of the zone. And the Young Nationals, they are just having a terrible time here trying to get the puck. Not even get the puck out of the zone, but just get the puck on their sticks. These Senators are all over them to start this period.
That's right, and the Senators, they'll take just puck possession. They don't need another goal right now. They don't need to force anything. If I'm them, of course, the opportunity presents itself. You got to cut to the net for some more offense. But really, you'll take the dump and chases, controlling the puck possession. Already 3 minutes and 15 seconds passed in this period. You'll keep doing that, and you'll make your way to the promised land.
An errant pass from the Nationals does result in Tomasi having to cover the puck, and it will be an offensive zone face-off. And it'll be Ethan Saw taking the face-off for the Young Nationals as there's a tie-up. And it goes right back into the Senators' zone behind the net in the corner there. Another puck battle along the boards. 3-on-2 here for the Senators, but the Nationals are able to take some possession, at least for the moment, as these puck battles along the corners seem to be the pattern of this game going the Senators' way. And that shot is blocked as the Senators come right back with a little bit of a dump and a little bit of a chance for the defense to change. But like we are again and again, right back in the Young Nationals zone off that dump and chase. It almost seems like this Senators team just has their legs under them a bit more than the Nationals do.
Yeah, and if you're the Nationals, you need to kick-start that offense a little bit more, and it starts with guys like Aptekar. He had 3 guys on him earlier on the sideboards, and he still got the puck possession. That's so important to win those 50-50 battles, win the battles that you're not expected to win, because that leads to offensive opportunities.
That's exactly right. And as Ethan saw along the sideboards, as the Nationals try to take a shot on net, but that misses very poorly, and the Senators go right back down the ice, and this will be an icing call coming right back into their end. Again, if you're the Senators here, you're playing a little bit more conservatively. I think we can both tell that they know that they had the lead. They know that these Young Nationals are having a very tough time getting the puck and getting some offensive momentum, and they're just doing a great job keeping them to the boards and keeping them out of their own zone for an elongated amount of time. But the Young Nationals, they do win this faceoff, but they give it right back to the Senators as they come in and they... that will be a penalty, some knee-on-knee contact there. That's a tough penalty to take if you're the Young Nationals trying to get some offensive momentum, and you just take a bad penalty off of a very nifty move from a Senators forward. You can't take that, as much as it pains me to say. That's just a bad penalty to take.
Yeah, and that's a win-win opportunity there for the Senators. Kinsella trying to stop the play from accelerating there, but if you're the Senators, you got to enjoy this. You know, you either get a power play goal or you likely shave off 2 minutes of time in the Young Nationals zone the way that they have been moving the puck on the power play.
And we did see a pretty good shorthanded chance from the Young Nationals earlier in this game. Let's see if they can get any of that momentum on this penalty kill. You know, sometimes we do not realize the importance of a penalty kill because, you know, we keep talking about how important power plays and special teams are for offensive momentum. A good penalty kill, that can rally a team just as much as a good power play.
Yeah, it's certainly a momentum builder if you kill off a big penalty, especially when we saw the 5-on-3 earlier. Of course, it led to a Senators goal, but you know, the Young Nationals, they killed that off. Obviously, the game would have been tied, but it also would have shifted momentum completely in the opposite direction. So a big PK here could go a long way for TYN.
5.5 minutes gone here in the third period with just under 9.5 minutes to go, as we see just more than a minute left to go on this power play, as here comes the 2-time goal scorer Arjun Nanubhai working his way through, and that's deflected back to Robert Knight, who passed it right back to Tait. Tait gives it to Nanubhai. Nanubhai, he's got the risky shot, looks for a pass, and that is scored off the shot, perhaps on the rebound there from Robert Knight. What a shot, and what an incredible cross-ice feed from Nanubhai. He's got 2 goals already, add an assist to that total, as the Senators take a 3-1 lead.
And you know, that's the type of hockey we've come to expect in this game from the Senators. We talked about how important zone entry was for the Young Nationals and what a good job the Senators did to blockade that earlier in the period. And what do the Senators do? They give it to their 2-time goal scorer, like you said. They give it to Nanubhai, who carried it in and started that play. Thanks to him, they're up 3-1.
And that is 2 power play goals for the Senators in this game. Do you think that is more to do with just how dominant they've been on the power play? Or do you think that's a bit more to do with the lack of attention and focus on this Young Nationals penalty kill?
I mean, it's a little bit to do of both. I think the Young Nationals, they had to avoid the zone entry a little bit better for the Senators. They had to do a little bit better at not allowing them to set up. But the Sens, you got to give them credit. They've been excellent at getting those cross-crease and cross-zone passes through, finding the open lanes, and drumming up dangerous opportunities.
And that is Nanubhai again with the puck at the point, and he elects to go to his D partner, and that is sent down into the corner. But the young Nationals, they take it around their net, trying to calm themselves down after giving up another power play goal. Now down 2 goals. What do you think the mindset is for this Nationals team as they try to claw their way back into this with just under 9 minutes to go?
Well, they need to be aggressive here. 7.5 minutes left, and you just got to force some offense right away. You need a goal within the next couple of minutes, or else you'll find yourself out of this game very, very quickly. And for sure, no more penalties. You got to draw something. You got to get some momentum.
And that's a good move, and that's a good stop from Deschamps, keeping this a 2-goal game as you see some Nationals players hugging their goalie. They know that was a very, very important stop. A great move from Jakub Kulinksi, getting that almost was a one-on-one with the goalie there. But that was a great stop from Deschamps.
Yeah, that was Alexander Hand saying, hey, thank you, man. I got burned on that play, and you covered for me. And that's the kind of play we've seen from Deschamps all day long.
And that is the Senators winning and yet another offensive zone face-off. Pretty evenly split on the face-off totals, but that's a big one for the Senators to win. As that shot goes wide, as Gal Gray, he turns it right back into the corner, but that's picked up by the Nationals, but they give it right back to the Senators as they dump it right back in. And with just under 7 minutes left to go, that will wrap it up for our coverage, and we'll hear more about this game back in the booth. And that will do it for this game. The final score being 3-1 for the Mississauga Senators. A great back and forth game led by Arjun Nanubhai. Just a fantastic game for him. I'm sure Sammy will have something more to say when we get to our 3 stars of the game. Sammy, who do you got there?
Now, I'll wait to get to that first star, but you guys already know who it is. 3rd star of the game, Massimo Tomasi. Not the best start to his season, but he really picked himself back up, gathered himself, and let in no more goals after that. It was the Senators providing most of the offense, but Tomasi, he shut the door a couple times in big situations. My 2nd star of the game is none other than the only other goal scorer for the Senators, Robert Knight. He got that nice feed off the stick of Nanubhai, who is, of course, my 1st star of the game. That is how you make a statement in this league. First game of the season. A lot of eyes on him. What does he do? He puts up 2 goals and 1 assist to count for all 3 goals that the Senators scored in the win. An amazing start to his season, and I'm excited to see his next game.
He had 2 great shots for sure, but that pass to Robert Knight on that 3rd goal was something special. A great statement for them, and a great statement from the Mississauga Senators. What are you expecting for both of these teams moving forward?
I think that both teams can draw positives off this game. I think for the Senators, now they know that their offense, it's got to run through Nanubhai, but they do have keys to utilize as well. For the Nationals, I think they should be proud that they hung in there. It was a competitive game through and through, and they were really 1 goal away from making the game very, very interesting. So tighten up some of the passing, especially in the neutral zone, and both these teams, they have a chance to be special.
And with that, that is all for us this time. From everybody here at the Six Hockey, my name is Simon Hendricks again, joined alongside Sam Brzezowski. We will see you with our next game, and have a great day.
Welcome to the Six Hockey.
Get ready!